Hello everyone, welcome to this special report. The BRICS announced through Putin and Russia the launch of BRICS Pay, a payment system, but more importantly, a clear anti-dollar, anti-SWIFT weapon. First, the context. The BRICS summit is happening next week from October 22nd to 24. It'll be fascinating with many topics on the agenda and likely some big announcements. Interestingly, the timing is just a week before the US elections. While the Kremlin recently wanted to ban Bitcoin, since September 1st, Russian companies can now use digital assets for international payments. This is a complete reversal from January 2022, when at the highest levels the central bank was still advocating for a cryptocurrency ban. The timing is very interesting because in January 2022, that's exactly when Russia was banned from the SWIFT system, meaning we cut off the system that enables worldwide interbank exchanges, a system controlled by the West. Regarding cryptocurrencies, despite all the talk about bans and regulations, Russia, according to early 2024 figures, is one of the main Bitcoin mining countries. The USA, with big miners like Marathon Digital, accounts for 35% of mining in 2024. Kazakhstan, rarely mentioned, is a huge mining country with 18%, and in third place you see Russia with 11% of mining. It's a very active country because they have abundant energy and it's cold in the north, so you can set up mining machines, you get oil directly, cheap energy, and it's cold, which helps cool the machines. It's cold, so it helps cool the machines. You've also got Canada, Ireland, Malaysia, Germany, top in Europe, and Iran. Here's the BRICS Pay card. It's out now with a QR code. You can use it in Russia to buy coffee. To launch it, like in El Salvador, they put 500 rubles on it, about $7, and gave the card to people with that money to kickstart the system. So what exactly is BRICS Pay? It's a payment system. What's interesting is the photo showing the BRICS countries: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, plus the new members from the last BRICS summit: Saudi Arabia, UAE, Ethiopia, Egypt, and Iran. They provide some key figures. The zone represents 45% of the world's population and 36% of global GDP, surpassing the G7 as we saw in a previous video. So what exactly is this card? It's a payment system using QR codes. You scan your card, which we're familiar with. It also enables B2B payments between companies, so it's for the general public. You and I will use this card, but also for payments. Interestingly, it doubles as a loyalty card, which is a major feature. It's a payment method that will allow cross-border transactions among BRICS countries. So it's a card usable in any of these countries, both within and between these nations. It's a huge step forward, officially announced. I expect more news to come. At the BRICS Summit, we'll discuss this next week. I even looked into the summary of the recent meeting. They clarified how they plan to counter the dollar and SWIFT system. In 2022, Russia was hesitant to ban SWIFT. Luckily, they didn't, because in 2022, they were cut off from SWIFT. SWIFT is truly a tool, a Western weapon for controlling financial flows. It's used to manage global money transfers. Today, worldwide, between French, American, British, German, Japanese, South Korean, and other banks, all international payments go through the SWIFT system. This is actually why it's an aging system. And that's why when you make a bank transfer, it takes 2 days. It's because it's an outdated system. I think they're considering this too. Maybe they'll venture into the world of cryptocurrencies. What's also interesting is that we shouldn't forget that in parallel, BRICS Pay is primarily a Russian initiative, and there's also the Mbridge project led by China. We'll see how these two projects might merge, or at least both use blockchain technology. Let's look at that to wrap up this topic. So what's interesting here was a first initiative between China, Thailand, Hong Kong, and UAE are using blockchain and central bank digital currencies for various countries, mainly to enable cross-border payments. Both BRICS Pay and Mbridge schemes represent a second layer of the financial system that completely excludes the dollar. Now, to understand what we're talking about, all of this, both Mbridge and BRICS Pay, will rely on central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs in English. It uses blockchain tech, but let's be realistic, it's a completely centralized blockchain. Mbridge, which I've studied in detail, is controlled by China. China can control token numbers, limit supply, and deactivate currency. Keep that in mind. I wanted to end by providing some insight into what's behind this. It's not necessarily going to be based on Bitcoin. Interestingly, they've now opened the door to cryptocurrencies, but they're also working like Europe and other countries on central bank digital currencies. This is accelerating. We'll likely hear more at the upcoming BRICS summit, which we'll discuss then. I hope you enjoyed this brief overview. If so, please like and subscribe. It helps me tremendously. Bye, everyone.
In response to Western sanctions on some members, BRICS countries have accelerated the development of an independent international payment system. BRICS Bridge claims to be unaffected by political intimidation, financial malpractice, and third-party interference. The multilateral digital payment platform will act as a bridge between the financial markets of the BRICS member countries and is aimed at increasing mutual trade.